G'day ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags. Today I've got a bit of a premium aircraft review for you. We're going to take a look at the Mustang Mk Ia. Now this is one of my favourite premium aircrafts in the game. It is not without its problems, but it makes up for it in its real draw cards that it has. First of all, this is not an American aircraft, as you look through. This is the British tree. It is a British premium, level 11. Beautiful aircraft. Now the original Mustangs were actually ordered by Britain to augment their forces in the RAF. The original series was equipped with MGs, but we don't have the MG version in there. We have the modified version by Britain equipped with 4 Hispano cannons. This thing's firepower is just truly awesome. It rips things to pieces in HB, it rips things apart in arcade. It is a lovely aircraft for the damage that it can put out. Flies particularly well too. Now I did mention it had a few problems. The Mustang Mk Ia is equipped with the Allison 1100 horsepower engine. This is its problem right there. It doesn't like fighting at high altitudes. As you can see here, Mustang Mk Ia, 17,000 feet optimal altitude with a max of 27. Compare it against the Merlin equipped P51 over here, 25,000 feet optimal, 41,000 maximum. This aircraft really will not perform at high altitudes. In an ideal situation, you will not want to take this aircraft above 15,000 feet, and that 15,000 feet will only be if you are the only aircraft at that height, and it is just to get to a position where you have the energy to be able to easily boom and zoom your enemies into submission. You don't want to fight there. Honestly, you would never really want to take this aircraft above 12 and engage in a fight. Its performance lacks, its maneuverability dies, and it just becomes a target for things like the German Focke-Wulf 190 and the 109s that it will face. However, at low altitudes, this aircraft is devastating, and in a boom from high altitudes, much the same. As I mentioned before, the firepower is awesome, its dive speed is incredible. This thing will dive out to almost 900 kilometers an hour before the wings will shear off. You don't want to pull any high Gs in that particular area, but it will get there. The turnability on lower altitudes is somewhere between that of a Focke-Wulf 190 and a 109. So while dogfighting in this aircraft is not optimal, it is capable of doing it, as you'll see in the video coming up. Now, armament. Go through. Obviously, 420mm, no option for bombs on this one. Not that you would want to carry them anyway. Standard British line of belts available. You want to avoid the default belt. The default belt, it's got a practice shell in it. Yeah, you don't want that. Completely useless and a waste of good ammunition. You have universal and ground targets available. This is a much of a muchness. The belts themselves aren't actually a whole lot different. Either of these is particularly good if you're going for ground strafing or bombers. Anything with heavy armor, they carry a lot of armor piercing capability and a lot of explosive potential to take out those heavier targets. If you're not fond of using stealth, I use stealth only for arcade, and it is incredible the amount of damage it can pull out. If you're not fond of stealth in HB, however, I recommend the tracer belts. Armor piercing, a single tracer and a high explosive fragmentation incendiary shell in APTHEFI configuration. So it is a very nice belt for taking out air targets. So that's all we have to really cover here. Best thing to look at now is see how this thing performs. So here we are on the Battle of Britain map. It's me and Kay, both in our Mustang Mk Ia. Now he's gone low altitude, about 2,000 feet. He's firewalled the throttle. He's going to try and intercept all the low ground attackers that are going to attempt to support capture of B, and slow them down and delay them from being able to take that airfield for as long as he can. I, however, am going to try and climb up to about 6,000 or 7,000 feet and try and get a bit of an altitude advantage, so when I arrive on the scene I'll be able to provide him with cover. Now as you can see, the climb rate is not amazing. It's not bad by any means, but it is not the fastest climbing aircraft in the game. But that doesn't really matter if you're not planning on taking it above a 15,000 foot threshold anyway. So I've just hit 3,000 feet off the runway. I'm a little over a minute into the game. Now, back up here is obviously a Boo Fighter Mark 10. We've got some Typhoons, we've got a few Spitfires here as well. So we've got a good fighter base, no bombers on this side, which is good for this map. We don't really have any ground targets to attack. Our job is to try and prevent them from taking ours. So K's just leveled off now. He's keeping the throttle at maximum. Now, a couple of my shots were not particularly accurate on this map, as you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner. I am playing on, I believe this is the UK server, at about 318 ping. So my lead was a little off on my first couple of bursts. That's not in any way a problem with the aircraft, that's just a problem with Australian internet. Not much that can be done about it. So I'm just swinging the camera around here. I was checking the horizon for dots. I'm just checking to see where the rest of the team. We've got a nice wide spread. Nothing will be coming through at low altitudes, but nobody's going high. But that's alright. Most of the aircraft here wouldn't be able to take the 190s and 109s at their own altitude anyway. So actually running low altitude here is not such a bad thing. If we can get them to come down to us, they're fighting us on our terms, and we will pull them apart. So K spotted his first targets. They're not visible for me yet. We've got a 190 up high. It's just appeared. He's looking at a Doe 217. I take a brief glimpse at it as well, but the angle it's heading off will pull me away from the runway. There is a 410 down there as well, and I have Spitfires and Typhoons to my left that will deal with the 217 in short order. A 190 is attempted to land cap the runway. I don't know why you would do that. That's not the way this map works. But he looks like he's smacked into the ground in the process, so no repair for him. But now all manner of hurt is falling on K. He's got a 190 diving in on him, he's got a 410 pulling around on him, he's got a G2 Stuka with twin 37mm cannons, it's also in the area. So he goes after the 109 and then moves to evade when he realises the 410's on his tail. I've just dropped my altitude to get my dive speed up and take my first shot. 410's lit up. I continue the roll through. I know K's gone up and to my right, and he hasn't. He's rolled through to the left. My bad. G2, that needs to be taken out. Those things can turn fast and are very dangerous in this situation, so I'll put a burst into him. Now I'm looking at this 190 on high. Move to follow. That was the 410 crashing. Critical damage, it went down. Roll around, the 190 is trying to move in on K. Here's where my internet is messing me up a little bit. I'm not aiming to account for the ping. But I get a couple of hits in. And there's the wing taken off. Just as he was bringing his guns around to K, my wingman's cleared. Check the tail. They're only just capping the airfield now, but that 190 has been down for too long to be able to cop a repair, so he's out of the game. There is, however, another 190 and a 109 on high. We've got a Spitfire moving to engage the 109, so the 190 I'll take. As it moves in a Boo Fighter. Goes through and makes a close pass on the Boo Fighter. Almost collides. I think he actually managed to kill him there. Nope, Boo Fighter manages to stay up. The 190 misjudges his dive and smacks it into the ground. So that's him out of the game, and that's only the 109 left to go with the Spitfire on his tail. So K's moving into position to chase him down. And I turn in on him as well, along with a Typhoon. Take a little hit from AA there, but nothing to be worried about, no damage taken. And from here, this game becomes a game of cat and mouse. It's just 4 fighters trying to chase down the last 109 and kill it. The Spitfire you see ahead actually takes him. Just spot a little bit of banter in chat. A little bit of fun banter is always good. I'll throw in my 2-piece. And yeah, we just chase him down and kill him. This whole mission, I only expended about half the ammunition I was carrying on board. The cannons hit that hard. 3 kills only cost me half my ammunition load, and probably most of those shots were me missing due to my bad ping. The devastating firepower this thing carries is just, it's nuts. This thing carries exactly the same armament as all the British jets, the same 4 Hispano cannons. So for armament at level 11, this thing is borderline overpowered. And as you can see, why its high altitude performance is terrible, at low altitudes it is more than capable of fighting everything it encounters. In arcade, this thing is a monster. So rather than show you the rest of this mission, let's go through and see what the results were. So, 104,250 silver lines, 75,370 XP, the fighter award, bulletproof, and first place for the team. Now this is on a premium account. It was not doubled. This was not my first win for the British for the day. An important thing to note on that XP as well is this Mustang for me is mastered. There is no longer an X5 multiplier on its XP bar, so that is base experience only with a premium account. Bloody nice result, bloody nice aircraft. I fully recommend this plane if you have a little bit of gold lying around and you're after something around the tier 10, tier 11 mark. There are 2 options there, the Typhoon and the Mustang. I will be doing a review on the Typhoon at some stage in the future. It is definitely a good option for an aircraft as well. But if you have it, get the Mustang. It is an amazing plane. You'll have a lot of fun with it, whether you play HB, arcade, or full real battles. This aircraft is just fun. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.